Are you a people pleaser? As in, do you find yourself saying yes when you actually mean no? Do you find yourself being like, well, I'm cool with it. I'm the cool one. I'm the chill one. I'm the chill friend. All of those things. Do you find yourself saying that out loud, but inside you feel like you're crumbling because you just haven't found a way to stand up for yourself? Yeah, if that sounds a little bit like you, then hang out here for a second, because that was a lot of bit like me. And it's even something now that I'm having to make sure I invest in flexing that muscle so that I can stay strong in challenging my sort of routine, people pleasing behaviors, tendencies, habits that formed over a lifetime. So before we get into that, for anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Sarah. I am a musician, a composer. I'm self-taught. I play bass. I write my own music. I am also someone really passionate about the power of creativity and how that can really help you unlock confidence, detach from fear, and start living the life that you really see and imagine for yourself. And then on top of all of that, I am someone who has just come out of a round of extreme burnout where I realized that everything that I was doing before, where I was writing music, performing with gigs, managing a band, working a full-time job, setting up a coaching business, trying to be a good friend and family member and all of these things, and I burnt out. There was literally nothing left. And as much as I felt like it was an impossible thing to even think about, I took a year out from everything. Not work though, sadly. I'm not a trust fund baby. I have to go to a job. And fortunately, I found a really beautiful place to work where I could actually start to grow a lot of confidence back in myself, moving out of a really troubling and toxic work environment into somewhere that was much more nurturing and rewarding. And as I've been doing that work, my actual job work, and also work on myself, I've definitely found that this journey, even though I still very much feel like I'm on it, there are things that I would just love to share with you and back to me, because this path can feel really difficult and feel really lonely, particularly if you're moving out of all of your old habits and ways, which means a lot of the people and characters and structures and routines in your life that benefited from you being this small people-pleasing version of yourself, they're not going to come with you. And that is definitely the first thing that I want to say when I talk about moving out of old self-destructive habits. It's the learning and the knowing how to embrace the power of release. This is something that's been huge for me, because I feel the energy that I had, it was this frantic energy of trying to hold everything together all at once. And the first thing that I did was just release that, let go of everything that feels like it's consuming so much energy, processing power to get, not even off the ground, just to keep running. If keeping the lights on in your relationships, in your creative dynamics, even in your work situation, if keeping the lights on for everybody is solely down to your own personal energy, your personal power to care, then that's not right, that's not fair. So learn to recognize where are the spaces where you are losing a lot of energy. You're losing a lot of energy and you're not having things come back as nourishment. The second thing to do is also, now that you've learned the power of release, allow things to go that don't belong to you. And that was hard for me, because when I did that, when I started to really realize, where am I investing a lot of energy and not getting any kind of reciprocity? And it doesn't mean like for like, but that you put the energy in and there's a cycle of goodness that comes back. And one of those spaces for me that was really, really hard to let go of was my live setup with the bands that I was working with at the time. And it took a lot of energy and convincing to get things done. And what I was doing with that, every time I was begging people to stay or begging people to participate or begging people to contribute, I was routinely just undermining myself that little bit more, because what I was saying is that inherently this space and what I was creating wasn't worth people's respect. Like, it wasn't worth people showing up, and the entry fee, the bare minimum entry fee, wasn't being honoured. And allowing that meant I started to devalue my work. And I think right now that's a huge thing that I'm having to try and build back and work through, is finding that sense of groundedness in the value of what I create and the value of my voice. So yeah, learning where it's not equal and being okay with letting those things go. The third thing I would say is get comfortable with matching the energy. Now, to quote Joanna Lumley, it's 100% respect, always. But if there's reason to understand that that 100% isn't being reciprocated, you don't have to keep giving 100%. Now, don't undermine your own personal brand and value, but just know that you can't participate in situations of 100% when people aren't bringing their 100%. So match the energy. And if you're not getting what you need in terms of respect, especially from that dynamic, it's time to bounce. It's time to bounce, but also make sure that you voice what you need. That's the fourth thing. Learn to say and ask for what you need, because people unfortunately cannot read your mind, cannot understand what's happening behind the scenes unless you communicate it. So learn to articulate what you need. Now, for a people pleaser, that is really challenging. And what I would say in learning to overcome that is start learning how to articulate what you need to yourself. I had to learn how to articulate I need rest and give that to myself. And that was the start of this kind of, I don't want to say rebirth, that sounds really cheesy, but that was the start of this new journey. And that's to say, I'm not coming to you from a place of I've figured it all out and this is great. I'm coming to you from a place of I'm working through this right now, and I know there are things that I do need to put in place, routines and habits that I do need to form and shape and lock into to get, I don't want to say get back to what I was doing before, because as I explained, what I was doing before wasn't sustainable, but to move to a new space where I can create from a place of confidence and self-worth and self-appreciation and self-compassion. This is the work. And if you're in a similar space, or even if you're like, do you know what, I promised myself this year that I was going to start the thing, I was going to write the book, make the album, get on the course, like buy the equipment, book the trip, whatever it is, like if you promised yourself that you would do that this year, this is for you, because there's a reason why you've been holding yourself back. There's a reason why you've been saying that your dream isn't worth the time, the effort, the money, the discipline. Like, there's a reason, and I promise you that reason did not come from you. That reason came from somewhere outside of yourself as a reason that you felt at the time, an interpretation you understood it to be, to remain small because that is safe. Remaining small isn't safe. It's safe for everyone but you. So if this helps you to actually take this as a sign and start living a big, expansive, creative, free, zero fucks given life, then please do it. Like, follow along with me, work with me with this. Like, let's walk together through this, because I'm so passionate about none of us, particularly if you're identifying as a woman, if you are a minority, like, none of us should ever feel that we don't have equal opportunity and access to our dreams. Now, the path may be different, and the path is certainly harder, but it doesn't mean we're not equipped to get there. So please follow along. If you enjoy these musings, if you find them helpful, please drop a comment. If you are a people pleaser right now, or you're a people pleaser in recovery, please also drop a comment. Let me know, how do you manage to stay on the right track and not slip back into old tendencies? And let me know if this video has been useful. As I said, I'm going to show up here every week with just a little download from my own journey to getting the confidence to do what I love, which is write, release, create incredible music that inspires people to dance. And if I can help other fellow creatives along the way, then I'm here for it. But until then, I'll see you next week.